Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? It's Big Game James here in the building. How you doing? Got some stuff on my mind I want to talk about right quick on this late night. So make sure you play this back, replay it. Really listen to what I got to say right here because I think it's very poignant. Let's see, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay, there it is. What's good? What's good? Tyreek Hill, Special K. Can they not hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me know, Matthew. Yo, Jeffrey, what's good? Let me know y'all can hear me. The Truth MVP, Derek Abel, trolling. Can you hear me? Okay, we're good. Yo, man, I ain't even paying attention to that Niners game. I want y'all to listen to this right quick. Just please listen to this. And I'm going to just tell y'all right now, if you don't like what I'm saying, just go. Cause y'all be crying that doom and gloom. What's up, my dog, Buddy? Buddy. That's one of my kids used to play for me. Love him. My man knows the sports. But please listen to this. Please listen to this. The title of this particular show is Cincinnati Bengals are back in the AFC Championship. Here are my thoughts. Let me talk about this right now. I don't care what anybody tells me. What's up, Randy? Tyrone Church. I don't care what anybody tells me. This is real. I've lived in Ohio, Texas, Ohio. Large part of my family is here in Ohio. Majority of my family's back home in Texas. Okay. But I've been here in Ohio for a little bit. So I saw everything about the Browns and the Bengals for a very long time here. And one thing I saw more than anything was the Cincinnati Bengals and Mike Brown. And one thing I know about Mike Brown, he was like Jerry Jones for the fact that he had full control. He was the owner, the president, and like the executive vice president. Basically, he had control over all operations once he took over for his father, like in 1991. He took over in 91 and basically became the guy. Okay. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't care nothing about that Niners Packers game. I really don't. I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying about this Bengals stuff because it's poignant. This is the first time they've been in the AFC Championship in over 30 years. 30 years. 30 years. Because I'm gonna talk about Joe Burrow too and the correlation with Dak. But let me talk about Mike Brown right quick. Okay. So Mike Brown took over the team. What's up, Michael? I saw all the time Mike Brown was here. Okay, and people hated Mike Brown. Now let me give you some things about Mike Brown that they hated. Just stay with me right here. Well, Mike Brown, see, they don't hate Jerry like that because Jerry's lovable. You know, he's got that personality. He know how to speak real good. He's a Libra. He know how to talk real good. He know how to get y'all back. He's real good with bringing y'all back in. I ain't saying he, but listen, Mike Brown, people was hating Mike Brown. In 2009, Yahoo Sports ranked Brown as the second worst owner in the NFL. In 2015, Rolling Stone ranked Mike Brown as the ninth worst sports owner. And players didn't want to play with him because we remember the Bengals, they used to lose until they finally got Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis, they started winning. They started going to the playoffs. But they never won a playoff game under Marvin Lewis. They had 5 straight years with Andy Dalton where they went to the playoffs 5 straight years and never won a playoff game, and people were getting tired. Mike Brown held on to coaches. He rubbed players the wrong way. Players were out of control. Remember how people were saying Chris Henry, God rest his soul, he passed away. God rest his soul, Cedric Benson, who eventually passed. But they were having issues. Chris Henry, Odell Thurman, Chris Henry. So there were so many issues that was going on with Cincinnati, the off-field activities, the off-field issues, detriment to the team. And this was going on a lot in Cincinnati. It was just a lot of bad things that was going on under his tenure as an owner. Okay. Marvin, Carson Palmer said he would never play for the Cincinnati Bengals again. You better trade him. That's what he said. You better trade me. I will never play for the Cincinnati Bengals again. He went. Mike Brown was like, "No, I ain't doing that." He eventually got rid of him. He went to Arizona and he started balling. Right? Corey Dillon said, "This team ain't about winning. I'm gonna get all these records, but this team ain't about winning." He got tired of it. They shipped him out. Where'd he go? He went to New England and won. Carl Pickens. There was just so many bad things about the Cincinnati Bengals, and people talked about this organization. But the main reason why I'm coming back to that is this. He was the full owner, and one of the reasons why people were so mad at Mike Brown with the Cincinnati Bengals, what's up, Michael? What's good, Teflon? Was because he was always in control of everything. And I'm going to give you a thing. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this right now. And make sure you go play this back because this is so real. This is so real. You need to go back and play this. If you don't see this, go back and play this. Where is it at? Right here. I want to get this part right here. I'm going to tell you two things right here. Brown's ownership has been criticized for lack of on-field success. His refusal to succeed football operations to a general manager. That's one of the reasons why they were always mad at Mike Brown out here in Ohio. Just back off and stop trying to control everything. Get somebody to run that football stuff and you just be the owner. But let me read that to you again. Brown's ownership has been criticized for the lack of on-field success. His refusal to succeed football operations to a general manager. Now I'm going to go back to this Carson Palmer thing, and I want to hear what he says about Carson Palmer. This is where Carson Palmer, in 2011, the Bengals traded Carson Palmer to the Oakland Raiders for a 2012 first-round draft pick and a conditional second-round 2013 pick if Oakland made it to the AFC Championship in 2011 or 2012, which they did not. Palmer later said in the NFL Network documentary series A Football Life after the 2010 season, he told Brown that the Bengals need to modernize and hire a general manager and that he and Brown got into a heated argument over it. He said that Brown is a very, very, very stubborn man. Andy Dalton was taken in the 2011 draft and became the first QB in franchise history to lead the team in the playoffs 5 years in a row. Although the Bengals were eliminated in the first round each year, Dalton did not play in what became the fifth consecutive due to injury. So you're like, why are you saying all this, Jack? Why are you telling me all this? This is where it's going to come back and correlate. Bengals just made an AFC Championship, right? Right? They just made an AFC Championship. So this is what I'm going to go right here. Everybody was complaining about Mike Brown not relinquishing duties. So you know what he finally did? And I was hearing the rumblings. The last few years, they drafted Joe Burrow, right? So they got him a franchise quarterback. We see he's a franchise quarterback. We're going to go over his numbers. And there's no excuse for Kellen Moore and his offense. We're going to talk about that right quick. But here's the poignant thing to me about this. And this is the only other owner that had all these duties besides Jerry Jones. And people out here in Ohio were saying, relinquish those duties and let a guy or somebody else run this and you just be the owner. They've been screaming for that forever. And they said if you just do that, the Bengals will start winning. That's what they've been screaming and crying out here forever. They've been screaming it year in and year out, and he dug his foot in the ground and said he wouldn't do it. Well, guess what? This is August 31st, 2021. Mike Brown steps down from the NFL Owners Committee. I'm going to read that again. Okay, Mike Brown, y'all worried about these Niners and Packers. Who cares? Y'all need to worry about this because this is one of the reasons why this is still going back in a dumb circle. Mike Brown steps down from the NFL Owners Committee. Another sign that Mike Brown is taking a step back from traditional owner duties. I'm going to read that again. Another sign Mike Brown has taken a step back from traditional owner duties. He's the only one besides Jerry that did this. He's the only one. Only one. He finally relinquished some duties and took a step back. Then I'm going to read this. This feels like another indication that Brown has taken a step back from traditional owner duties. His daughter, that kills me how y'all worried about that game. But that's why we're going to keep going in circles, Thurston. This feels like another indication that Brown has taken a step back from traditional owner duties. His daughter, Executive Vice President Katie Blackburn, seems to have assumed most of his responsibilities. But he's still the president and owner of the franchise. But let me read that to you again, because guess what? It can really happen. Nobody thought that Mike Brown would ever take a step back. They thought he was old and hard-headed. You just heard me say Carson Palmer said that man was a very, very, very stubborn man. And if that man, who's a very stubborn man, and dug his feet in the ground and did all this and finally saw that, guess what? Maybe if I just take a step back in a few things and let some other people just run this in certain things, I still be the owner. I can still be the president. I can still run this. But how about I just take a step back, not be in every damn interview, not talk so daggone much. Come on, KC and Masterpiece, and talk all this blah, 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 and jump on this stuff and talk all good and bring the Cowboys fans back in like it's going to be some different. It ain't been different in 26 years. But guess what? This man was the same man like you, Jerry Jones. So y'all may not want to hear this. That's fine. You don't want to hear this? That's okay. You can sit there and say, it's the low-hanging fruit. That's the easy thing. That's the easiest thing. That's what you can say. But I don't care. It's not going away out of my heart. I seen a man who was just as stubborn as Jerry Jones. Just as stubborn, had all the titles. He's the only other one that had the titles like Jerry Jones. And guess what he did? He finally took a step back in 2021. He relinquished some of his duties. He still was the president. He still was the owner. He just took a step back and let other people assume some other things and take control of it and run it. And guess what? You got a franchise quarterback. And now, after 30-something years, after you finally took a step back, you're in the AFC Championship after 30 years, after you took a step back. People tell me, yeah, Jerry ain't going to do it. Well, guess what? Then we're still going to keep going in circles. I don't care. You can hire Sean Payton, can do all that. I don't care if you're telling me I'm doing doom and gloom, then leave. Don't listen to it. I'm talking real. I'm going to still talk about my Cowboys, but I'm going to talk real. This team just got into an AFC Championship after 30 years after this man finally took a step back. That's crazy to me. And you're right. And I'm going to talk about that too. They went out and got him a franchise quarterback, and I don't want to hear no excuses from the offensive line. Didn't play good. Yeah, we saw them get sacked. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times today. This team didn't go nowhere because Mike Brown didn't sit there and take a step back. And when they finally put it in the paper, when he finally took a step back, this team actually... That's not no coincidence to me, dog. That's not no coincidence that this dude, who was the same dude like Jerry, took a step back and let these guys cook it and run it and really run it. And look, they running it like they want, not running like they want, but they got the control. Okay, we can really make this happen now. And they're right back in the AFC Championship after this short time. That's not no coincidence. I don't care what y'all tell me. That's not no coincidence. I saw it here every year. Y'all don't live in this state. I seen it and heard it and heard it all the time about how much they were mad at Mike Brown where he would never take a step back. He finally take a step back and they make it to the AFC Championship. That's not no coincidence to me. And then, yes, it is. The quarterback was playing great too. But I don't want to hear the excuse about the offensive line got to get better. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times a day. And I didn't even watch that game. I watched like 2 quarters of that game. He got sacked 9 times and they still won. That's what I'm saying, though. He got to be like that. Because, see, when I go through these numbers, I ain't dissing no Dak and I'm not harping on anything. But, bruh, this is something. What up, Dave Walker Vaughn? This is something I got to see. There's no excuses for the roster, the team, or nothing. Guys got to step up. Okay, because when I seen Joe Burrow, this is what, his second year? This is Joe Burrow, 4,600 yards. And this is from Pro Football Reference, and this is the top dog, in my opinion, about numbers. I'm going to compare these numbers from Joe Burrow to Dak. And the offensive line, and can't use that excuse the offensive line was bad with Dallas, because it was bad with the Bengals. Okay? So, Joe Burrow, just showing some things from Joe Burrow. 16 games played, 16 games started, 4,600 yards passing. They calculated 54 bad throws with Joe Burrow this year in the regular season. 54 bad throws, 10.7%. On target 419, on target 82.8% of the time. We'll start with that first. Joe Burrow, once again, 4,600 yards, bad throws 54, 10.7% bad throws, 419 on target, 82.8% on target. All right, and I'm gonna go to Dak. Dak, 4,400 yards, 86 bad throws, 14.7% bad throw, the percentage, 452 on target, 77.3%. I'm going to say that again, so I'm going to go over his numbers again one more time. With that, 4,400 yards. They had the same amount drop percentage. Joe Burrow had 4.5, Dak had 4.8. Joe Burrow had 54 bad throws, Dak had 86. 14.7% to Joe Burrow's 10.7%. 452 on target. Joe Burrow, I think he had what did Joe Burrow have? Joe Burrow had 419 on target. 77.3% on target for Dak. For Joe Burrow, 82.8. Now let's go to these pressure. This is what kind of stood out to me right here. Joe Burrow. We're talking about why I'm in there in the AFC Championship. I'm talking about from me. I ain't, y'all can think what y'all want. I'm talking about me right here. Joe Burrow on pressure. Joe Burrow was sacked 51 times this year in the regular season. 51 times. Was blitzed 125 times. Hurried 46 times. Hit 45 times. Was pressured 145 times with a pressure percentage of 24.5%. So once again, I'm going to say that again. Joe Burrow was sacked 51 times. He was sacked 9 times in this game, and they still won. Blitzed 125 times, 46 hurries, 58 hits, pressured 145 times with the pressure percentage of 24.5. Let's go to Dak. Dak on his pressure. Dak was sacked 30 times. So that's 21 less times Dak was sacked. Dak was sacked 30 times. He was blitzed 187 times to 124 to Joe Burrow. 187 times, still 46 hits, 46 hurries, 48 hits. He was pressured 124 times, 19.2%. So he was pressured less than Burrow, blitzed more. Pressured less, blitz more, less sacks. We're sitting at home. They're playing for AFC Championship. We talked about why they don't pass the CeeDee Lamb's your number one guy, not CeeDee Lamb. I'm sorry, Amari Cooper's your number one guy. Well, their number one guy. You know what they did? They drafted Jamar Chase, right? They drafted Jamar Chase. Yes, and that's big too. That's discipline, Fred. That's discipline. Show me that. I'm gonna post that while I'm talking. I'm gonna post that stat, and I hope it's real. Cincinnati is the second least penalized team in the NFL. That's a huge stat. Maybe that's one of the reasons why. No, I don't want to get rid of Dak, Mel. I'm talking when we see the shortcomings that people got to step up, the offense got to be better, the caterance, because I can't sit there and say this team is in the AFC Championship within these short amount of years. This offensive line was not good. They said draft offensive line in the draft. They said draft offensive line in the draft. They said do not. It was a lot of people were saying it was a mistake to draft Jamar Chase in that first round to Joe Burrow because they said, oh, okay, my dog, my bad, my dog. But they said that you need to draft an offensive lineman because your franchise quarterback just tore his knee up and he needs to be protected. And we've seen that offensive line is not good. You get what I'm saying? It's not a good offensive line. You can't go out and draft a receiver and you got to help this offensive line. They said bump it. What up, Jesse? We good, Mel. My bad. You feel me? So you sit there and they said you need to draft an offensive line. They said, no, we're going with the receiver that played with the quarterback. We're going to be explosive. And they force-fed him. Why didn't Dallas do that? Why didn't Dallas force-feed Cooper? They got a rookie in Jamar Chase who dropped like 12 passes this year. 12. You know what I'm saying? 12. And he was still getting the rock. Joe Mixon, 292 carries, 1,200 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 237 carries. I barely made 1,000. Joe Burrow, 292. Ezekiel Elliott, 237. You feel what I'm saying? Like, too many things that were not used right. They gave the ball to their receiver and a rookie in Jamar Chase, 81 catches, 1,400 yards, 13 TDs at 11 drops, 56 first downs, 13 touchdowns. T. Higgins, he had 1,000 yards, 74 catches. Tyler Boyd, another receiver. Defense wasn't great. It was okay. They didn't have no great defense. They were middle of the pack defense. They didn't have no great defense. They were ranked 22nd in the league on third down, getting teams off on third down. They were ranked 16th on third down percentage. They weren't breaking records over there. But those two things that stood out to me is they used their quarterback effectively. The quarterback was put in good positions, and the offense. Why can't Dallas do that? And why can't the owner step back like they did? Take a step back. You just brought in Will McClay again. You signed him all this bread. I ain't sitting there saying put the title by his name. Nobody cares. But you're still in these same interviews. You're in these same weekly interviews saying the same things over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Better coaching. Better culture, but why is it a better coaching? The owner stepped back because it wasn't a better culture over there in Cincy. I remember when the bad culture was bad, but the man had to get the right people in place. Then he had to step back. And when he finally stepped back as an owner, and he didn't step back from being president. He didn't step back from being the owner of the team. He stepped back in certain things. He had to pull back his reins. He had to let his selfishness go and say, guess what? I got to step back and figure this out. And he let other people take over and start doing certain operations where it wasn't him or Steven all up in the mix. And guess what? They're back in the AFC Championship after 30-some years. That is not a coincidence to me. My dog Fred Wood said I lied. They're ranked number 1. That's discipline. But if you don't let your coach be able to coach, those things are going to happen. I know this is Jerry we're talking about, but you can't say that because Mike Brown was the same way, Thurston. Mike Brown was the same way that Jerry was. So there is no excuse for it. He had to finally figure out that I had to take a step back. I don't know if it was health or whatever it was, but he took a step back, let other people take over certain parts of operations. And guess what? They back in it. Yes, and if you don't want to hear this, don't be in this feed. I don't want to hear no complaining from people. I have people getting on me, you know what I'm saying? You doom and gloom and it's boring and it's not boring, but you doom and gloom, bring something. Man, bro, I'm talking real. It's doom and gloom because this stuff keeps being allowed in Dallas. That's why it's doom and gloom. It's doom and gloom. It should be doom and gloom to you when you see the Cincinnati Bengals, who ain't made it to an AFC Championship in over 30 years, get back in there with a quarterback they just drafted, who a team was just won 4 games last year, 2 games the year before that. That's what you should be mad at. And then you should be mad at how the owner finally took a step freaking back and let some people take over, and now they're right back in it. That's what you should be mad at. You should be mad at your owner because he won't take the step back. And I just seen a man just as stubborn as him, because I've been here. I seen his stubbornness. He was hella stubborn. I just told you, Carson Palmer had a fight with him. Carson Palmer said, bruh, you need to modernize and you need to let somebody else do this. They had an argument about it. Carson Palmer's telling him, you need a general manager, dog. It can't be you. Jerry Jones is 79 years old and he's still the owner, general manager, and president. 79, bro. He's still giving all the orders over all the operations of football. Jerry Jones, 79, bro. 79. This man was doing the same thing over there, finally took a step back. Now they back in it. I bet you why can't Jerry do that? Why can't he see and do that? He's still going to own the team. He's still going to run everything. Take a step back and let Will McClay really handle it, and don't be in these interviews all the time. Don't talk all the time. How about you be quiet for a little bit and chill and chill and let some other people just do this, and let's see how it goes. What can you lose by doing it? That's my thing. Here's my thing. What can you lose by doing it? You ain't won in 26 years, so wouldn't you get desperate and try anything right now? Mike Brown did. Mike Brown sat back and took his but that's why, and that's the problem, Adrian. And that's why Dallas ain't never going to be doing nothing. Did you just hear me that Cincinnati Bengals won games? And I said Dallas going to win games. Dallas will get players. Dallas will get players because Dallas is the Dallas Cowboys. Players are always going to Dallas is always going to get players. Cincinnati will have winning game. When they had Marvin Lewis, they were winning. They used to suck. Then they got Marvin Lewis. They won, but they never won anything. You think it was a coincidence that they went to 5 straight playoffs and never won? People are always dogging them over here. Choking again. 5 straight playoffs. Choke. They were saying that about the Bengals out here. But they were always mad at Mike Brown because they said, sit back and let somebody else do this. Stop trying to run everything. That's what they were crying about out here. I was hearing it every time, every day. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm going to keep it real. I ain't worried about no Aaron Rodgers. You feel me? I don't care about that. He has built good football teams, but so did Mike Brown, Mel. Mike Bell. Do you remember when the Cincinnati Bengals had Marvin Lewis? They had some pretty good teams, didn't they? You right. My dog Mel. I want to have a conversation, and I heard Darren Woodson say that. Darren Woodson said, "You know what? I don't jump on that Jerry thing and blame Jerry. Jerry has some good teams. Sooner or later, the coaches and the players gonna have to do something." Really, dog? I ain't dissing on no Darren Woodson, dog. You don't on my show. But, dog, 26 years, there was some good teams in Dallas. You're going to say all 26 years it was them and never Jerry? Is that what Darren Woodson's telling me? Sooner or later, the coaches and the players got to step up. It's been 26 years with different players and coaches. Good players, good coaches. And it's still the same thing. The man needs to step back some. He does. He needs to step back some. It ain't just the coaches, dog. It's the owner, too. I don't want to hear it's just the coaches because Jason Garrett is gone. And the same thing is happening with Mike McCarthy. We're going to sit there and say the coaches what? Now we're going to sit there and say, oh, we'll get Sean Payton. What if Sean Payton come over here and the same thing? Then what you going to say? What you going to say then? Because everybody thinks, oh, let's just get another coach. Oh, let's just get another offensive coordinator. Oh, let's just get this defensive coordinator. The same thing is happening. And this ain't no doom and gloom, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. When we get excited about our team, those things, I sit there and watch that Bengal thing, and I watched it closely because I watched the Mike Brown thing. And I said, can these dudes really get back into a championship? That's going to prove something to me. I watched it all year because I was out here in Ohio. And when I heard Mike Brown finally taking a step back and not taking over all football duties, I watched how the team played. And it played different. They got into the playoffs. They're in the AFC Championship. The man took some steps back. And that's what's got to happen. You got Will McClay doing all this stuff. Let him really cook it. It's not hurting you. What do you got to lose? But he won't do it. And that's the problem. So we always want to sit there and talk about draft and all this stuff. And I'm going to talk about the draft tomorrow. You can be on the show. It's going to be me and Joe Castro. We're going to be talking about the draft tomorrow. I'm not going to be doom and gloom when I talk about the draft tomorrow. I'm going to be excited to talk about the draft tomorrow. You feel me? I'm going to be excited to talk about players because I love talking about players. I'm always love talking about the players and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm going to still sit there and say it's going to be the same old thing in my heart as far as till there's going to be a change on this dude's side. And if this dude don't never take a step back, Dallas probably going to win some games. But I think actually Dallas is going to take a step back next year because I feel like Mike McCarthy is the lame duck coach right now. Because right now you had 2 seasons under your belt and a 5-year deal. You didn't make the playoffs your first year. The second year, you had huge disappointment, one of the biggest disappointments in Dallas in a very long time. You're a lame duck coach because you have to have a winning season and you must get at least to an NFC Championship in your third year or a Super Bowl. So it's almost damn near Super Bowl or bust for Mike McCarthy. So you pretty much like a lame duck coach unless they fire you now. So where do we think that the Cowboys are going to play better next year? I don't believe it. I think they're going to take a step back. I don't want to believe that about my team, but it's all set up for it. You can say, oh, you're preaching doom and gloom. Okay, no, I'm preaching real. You listen to fake. Go listen to fake stuff. Listen to fake stuff and say everything's going to be peaches and cream and Dallas is going to bounce back and win 14 games next year. Bruh, this is mental. This was heartbreaking. This is real talk. Yeah, it might be weak. It don't mean Dallas still won't take a step back. This you don't think this mentally? This dude said the team was nervous, bro. Are we serious? This dude said the team was nervous. We saw the team one of the most penalized teams in the league. We saw the undisciplined in this playoff game, and we're gonna sit there and say all of a sudden he's gonna sit there and tell me that Mike McCarthy's gonna sit there and tell me we're gonna be better next year. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. That doesn't mean I'm still not gonna root for my team. It's still not gonna mean I'm not gonna, but I don't believe that. And I don't believe until Jerry takes a step back. You don't got to step down as the owner or whatever, bro. No, you don't got to do that. But I just seen a dude, Mike Brown, who had the same responsibilities like you did. He took a few steps back and let a few responsibilities go. And look what happened. Why don't you try that? You got nothing to lose, Jerry. You got nothing to lose to try it. Let it go. Let a little bit of power go. Let a little bit of power go and see maybe what happened. You don't have to, you 26 years, you're going to still keep on trying to do it your way because it's not going your way. And people not going to tell me it's the coaches because you had other coaches in here and was still failures. You know what I'm saying? You had different coaches with great talent too, and it was still the same thing, failures. So we're going to sit there and say it's every coach and every player because it's been 26 years of it. You know what I mean? That's why it's almost like I want to see a Sean Payton come here. Because if Sean Payton comes here and it happens the same thing, what y'all gonna tell me then? What y'all gonna tell me then? It ain't just Kellen Moore, dog, because people leave this organization and do good. Yes, Mel Hayes, you're right. Jerry be in QB meetings. My dog Anthony Wright, who played with the Dallas Cowboys, with Quincy Carter and them. He was saying Jerry Jones was in the meetings. I got the interview. Go check the interview out. He said he'd never seen that. He said he never seen a owner in quarterback meetings. So what? Jerry's not doing it now? He's not doing it now? He what? Oh, so he's taking a step back? If somebody tells me to take a step back, I want to know. Just tell me and I'll shut up. But I don't believe he has because he's still freaking interviewing on KC Masterpiece saying the same thing. And it is ego. He's a stubborn man. I don't care. He's set in his ways. And he keeps on thinking, well, if I try this or if I try that. No, you need to try you chilling out and relinquishing some things, dog. $5 holler for my dog B Bird. What's up with you, baby? The Cowboys loss could be as devastating as that Seahawks-Falcons Super Bowl loss. Those teams never recovered. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was a bad loss. And I don't know where they think the Cowboys are going to. Y'all, I mean, hey, I'm sorry. I'm going to love my squad, but I don't feel like they're taking a step forward next year. Not with all this pressure. You had the opportunity to do it all the time this year. And if you lose Dan Quinn, you're definitely not going forward, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you lose Dan Quinn, you think the team is going to bounce back and win more, be better than next year, Mike McCarthy, than this past year, especially if you lose Dan Quinn? Who you fooling? Who y'all fooling? And once again, if you don't like what I'm saying, oh, you're preaching that doom and gloom, I'm out. Bye. I'm going to still support my team. I'm still going to go hard in the draft and all that. I ain't going to be fooled. I'm not going to be fooled by what he's telling me. I'm not going to jump up and be all fooled by what he's saying. You know what I mean? I drank Kool-Aid this year. I drank it. What's up, Gary? I drank Kool-Aid. I did. I drank the Kool-Aid on Kellen Moore. I did. I drank Kool-Aid on Mike McCarthy. I still think Mike McCarthy can coach, though. I think if he went somewhere else, I think Mike McCarthy would win somewhere else. I really do. So I'm not going to run away and say what Kool-Aid I didn't drink, but I'm also be real with y'all. It'd be fake with me. I'm not going to be fake to y'all. Okay, y'all, if y'all want me to be a fake content creator, I can't do that. I'm not being true to myself. Y'all need to understand that. I can't come on air and sit there and lie to y'all just because, oh, it's the Cowboys and we want to have good content and we want to say positive things. I'm sorry. I'm only going to talk what's in my heart right now, and that's what I'm feeling. I saw this man doing the same thing that Jerry Jones was doing, and he took a damn step back, and they're in the AFC Championship game. That ain't no coincidence. This dude needs to do that, or it's going to be the same freaking circle. Doesn't matter who they're going to bring in. We're talking about Vic Fangio, Mike Zimmer. What? Bro, you had Dan Quinn. You lose him, you taking a step back, bro. Mike Zimmer ain't going to make it better. It ain't got no sugar. This Kool-Aid ain't got no sugar, but I drank it. I tried not to drink it. I said at the beginning of the year, we'll see, because I was tired of this letdown. Appreciate you, Thurston Howe, for the $2 holler. That Kool-Aid ain't got no sugar. You feel me? No sugar. And I was drinking heavily Kool-Aid, big batches of it. I can't run. You know what I'm saying? I was doing it. You know what I mean? So I got another $199 holler. Appreciate you. Is this Michael Evans? Appreciate you. Jerry's been on winning a chip without Jimmy. He's been on doing it his way. That's what he's been on, doing it his way. You had the opportunity. He sat there with Jimmy Johnson at the Hall of Fame game, and they're going back and forth. And he's like, yeah, I can see me putting you in the Ring of Honor. But it's something super personal that he's got a super grudge that he's not doing it. And it's still, I feel like, hurting the team. And once again, until he takes step back, the team is still going to suffer, in my opinion. And we're going to see it. Dallas is going to win games. And I'm going to compare it to those Bengals, because the Bengals won games. The Bengals were going to the playoffs. They went to 5 straight playoffs games. Dallas ain't did that. When's the last time Dallas went to 5 straight playoff games? Tell me. And they was choking. Bengals was choking every year. And they were saying it. Everybody saying it. What, they're going to finally get past it? They were calling Marvin Lewis choker. Andy Dalton choker. When's the last time Dallas went to 5 straight playoff games? Not 90s. And they were winning games. So it ain't about Jerry. They put good teams over there. Bengals had good offense and defense. They had good teams, but they couldn't get over the hump. Till somebody stepped his butt on out the way, and all of a sudden things started cooking. And I believe, and I'm going to watch it again next year. I'm going to see if they have a fallback, because I don't think they will. And that wasn't like that division was bad over there in the AFC Central. That division wasn't no bad division. David Shelton had the number 1 pick 2 years ago, and now we're in the AFC Championship game. That doesn't bother y'all, Cowboy fans? That doesn't bother y'all? I'm asking y'all, that doesn't bother y'all that they just had a number one pick like 2 years ago and they're in the AFC Championship game? That doesn't bother you that we see so many of these teams make a come up and a quick turnaround within a few years when things happen? That doesn't bother y'all? We're going to still continue to say, oh, let's talk about the draft and let's draft. I want to ask y'all, answer me, y'all. Does that don't bother y'all? That these other teams keep coming up on Dallas and just turning around just like that. Yet Dallas is still in the same freaking circle and Dallas has the talent. That freaking bothers me, man. That bothers me, man. I want y'all to speak it to me. It bothers. I want to hear my Cowboys people. It's not doom and gloom. It bothers. It pisses us off, man. Because, yes, I shouldn't see the Cincinnati Bengals, who just had a number one pick a couple years ago, in the AFC Championship game. Meanwhile, Dallas has all this talent and still sitting the bench. That bothers me, y'all. Shout out to Adam Sinley for the $20 holla. Hey ho, donation. Seems as though the brand culture is more important than winning culture. Jerry still likes what he sees in the mirror. That's real. I told y'all. I told y'all. Hey, I told y'all. I said, is winning priority? If y'all been following my channel, Adam is dead right. When I had this channel, I asked y'all, when me and Boss were on here, I said, is winning number one here? That's what I asked. That's all I asked. Is winning number one here? We had people on the show and saying, man, yeah, they want to win. Yeah, but is it number one? I said they want to win, but is it number one? That brand is number one, though. That brand, because that brand, that doesn't bother y'all that this is the number one selling organization out here. The number one. And what if they have to show for it in the century? Yet, meanwhile, we got these other teams coming out of nowhere and Dallas is still in the same thing. That pisses me off, y'all. When I see the team this year and you had the opportunity to this was your year to make that opportunity. And you didn't even fall, you fell real short. Like it was real bad how you fell short. And we're supposed to think that you're going to mentally overcome that. Y'all could mentally overcome it against the San Francisco 49ers. So now you're going to tell me now you're going to mentally rise above it now and all of a sudden have all these great you're going to get all these mental hurdles. That stuff is real. When you lose those type of games like that, it lingers. It's going to be real hard to really get that out the building. No doom and gloom. I'm talking real here. If they can come out of it, please, I would love it. But y'all not showing me anything to make me believe that that's going to happen. I don't see anything. I didn't see it in the playoffs. I didn't see it. What? Kellen Moore, you're going to change up your offense? Because you've been called out. You got to get better. Dan Quinn did his job. I can't say nothing about Dan Quinn and Joe Witt and Al Harris and them. Yeah, you got to get on Trevor Diggs about tackling better. But that defense held it up this year. This is the first time you had a defense. You hear what Eric Matt said? That is funny as hell. I'm gonna post that because that's crazy. If Cheeto Awuzie, it don't matter if he's boo boo. He's going to he's in an AFC Championship game. I know he's sitting there. I want to interview Cheeto. I'm gonna holler at Cheeto, bro. I'm gonna holler at him because I got to interview him a couple times before. I'm gonna holler at Cheeto. Awuzie about to get to a Super Bowl. Ain't that something? It don't matter if y'all say he's boo-boo. He's not trash. He's not no trash corner. He's not great. So I'm not saying that, but he's not trash. But guess what? He leaves, and look where he about to go. Wow, that's crazy. I know he got some stories to tell about Dallas. $5 holler for Joshua Magaha. Is that what it is? I'm sorry if I'm not great with that. We stop buying the merch and tickets. Maybe they'll do something different. We as Cowboys, I don't buy it. I don't do it. But people won't do it because Jerry knows how to pull people in with his voice. He's great with his words. He knows how to pull people in. That's why you think he did that interview. That interview of showing that fake anger to y'all. He might be a little mad, but that brand is still popping. As long as that money's still coming in, ain't going to be too mad. Show me some heads rolling. Show me you back up. How mad are you? Back off a little bit. Let some other people take some reins. Show me how mad you are. But you ain't doing that. So you ain't that mad. You sounded real good in that interview, fooling people, yelling, "I'm mad" and blah blah blah, and you accomplished what you wanted because you had everybody in Twitter fooled. I like this Jerry. This Jerry going hard. Jerry going. I ain't never heard Jerry talk like this. Jerry, man, y'all, he fooling y'all, man. He brought y'all right back in. Damage control succeeded. Damage control, he got y'all right back in. Zzz, took that, railed y'all right back in. Yep, y'all fell for it. He railed you back in with that interview. Let me drop an interview and let them show them I'm super mad about this. I'm more mad than I've ever been before. Oh, Jerry hot. Jerry hot as hell. Did you hear Jerry in that interview? In my 15, 10, 20 years, I've never heard Jerry say that. Man, please. Bruh. I'm gonna give you a bruh. That was great. That was great, Jerry. Way to bring it out. Way to bring the people right back in. Way to bring them back in. You know what I'm saying? Way to bring them back in. Because, you're 79 and you still won't take a step back. I'm going to keep on telling you about Mike Brown. He did it. He was hard-headed like you, bro. So it can work. Mike Brown was hard-headed like you, and he took a step back and that team right into the AFC Championship. Why don't you look at Mike Brown and say, let me take a step back and let me see. It ain't hurting you. You ain't got nothing to lose now. You got nothing to lose now. It's 26 years and running. Like NWA is 26 years and running. So you got nothing to lose right now, Jerry. Do it. But you won't. And we're going to sit there and say, let's get a different offensive coordinator. Let's fire a new head coach. Let's get this coach. Let's get that coach. Let's get this coach. Let's get this player. Let's fire that player. Let's add this player. Let's draft this player. Okay. We're going to do that. Are we going to be set up for failure again? Because you got a lame duck coach. You got a lame duck coach right now, so I don't know where you think this team is going to be better next year. We got a lame duck coach. He's got to get to an NFC Championship. If Mike McCarthy is the head coach this year, if he's into next year, he has to get to an NFC Championship or a Super Bowl. He's fired. Okay? So that means he's lame duck. I don't see it happening. I don't see you doing it, Mike. You couldn't do it this year, and you had everything. And if you lose Dan Quinn, you're going to do it now with a new guy. You got to learn again. This will be your third defensive coordinator if Dan Quinn leaves. Now you're going to do him? And then if you fire McCarthy right now, who's going to be head coach? Who the one I've been telling y'all was going to be the head coach? How I told you it was set up. I told y'all 3 years ago when Kellen Moore came over here. Was he going? He going to fire Mike McCarthy and elevate Kellen Moore? Because that's the only person I will see. If you get Sean Payton, you got to give up some draft picks or something. You know what I mean? So I feel like Mike McCarthy's in lame duck status unless it's going to be Kellen Moore. And I told you who was the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is going to be as soon as Kellen Moore came over. Go check the tape. Yes, he is Al Davis part 2. That's the truth. No, I don't want nobody wants to say this about the owner. I don't want to talk about Jerry. I don't want to say anything bad about this dude. But he keeps on allowing this stuff to happen. And then he wants to blame everything else. And just give all these speeches and give all these stories and all that. I don't want to hear them stories no more, dog. I want to see things happen. This was your best opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you going to tell me something else? What you going to do now? Who you going to hire now? And we're going to still keep on saying, sooner or later, it's got to be the players and coaches. Well, we got Jason Garrett out of there, but it's the same thing. Jason Garrett is gone, but it's the same thing, though. Isn't it? Okay, I'm just trying to figure it out. So if you get rid of Kellen Moore and bring someone else in, we're going to show me, please. I'll be glad to shut the hell up. I'll be glad. Definitely, I'm not going to eat a real crow, but I'll figure out something to eat that. Please show me that you get another offensive coordinator and get you another head coach, and then all of a sudden we're going to just win and go to the Super Bowl now. Please, bro. Who you fooling, man? You're not fooling me. You're not going to fool me. And it's whatever. So I just want to jump on there and talk about that right quick, man. It's real stuff what I'm talking about. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, man. We're going to be talking about draft. Me and my dog, Joe Castro, will be talking draft tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Easy like Sunday morning. Yeah, all right, bet. I'll do that. Mel's, there it is. There it is. This is what I will do. I can't stand no sushi. I will eat sushi. That's one thing I will not freaking touch. Sushi is disgusting. Just looking at it makes me want to Earl. If Dallas gets another new coach and goes to a Super Bowl, I even say NFC. I even eat the sushi on NFC Championship. I'll eat a bowl of sushi. Ugh. With a different head coach, not with Mike McCarthy and them, Mel, but a different guy. Okay, I'll do that. But hey, I'm gonna eat it raw and nasty. No roll, however you want, dog. I will not run away from it. My dog, Mike White, put hot sauce in his eye because he said if Dallas leads the league or be in the top 5 for turnovers, he'll put hot sauce in his eye. And he did it on air. I'll do it on air, eat sushi, all that. Whatever, all of it. I'm not scared because show me, hey, maybe I'll put this in the air. I would love to put this in the air and I'll be glad to eat sushi if Dallas can go to a Super Bowl. Huh. So I'll definitely take this if it can get Dallas to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But, bruh, I don't know what y'all think is going to be happening this year, but you got a lame duck coach right now who must get to a Super Bowl to keep his job. And he couldn't do it this year. And if he keeps the same staff and you lose Dan Quinn, y'all really think that's going to happen? Sorry, I don't. So, hey, it is. Hey, if you're a real Bengals fan, shout out to you, dog. I got nothing but love for you. My homeboy here, Bengals fan, but I ain't really giving him no props because he got two teams. He got the Eagles and the Bengals. And he jumped back and forth. I ain't giving you no props, bro. I'm not giving you no props. Stacy, you my dog. I love you. But I'm not giving you no props because you got two teams. And as soon as them Eagles lost, you want to drop it right over there saying who they. I ain't giving you no props on that, bro. I'm just not. You won't get it from me. So, hey, I'm out of here. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for the draft show with me and my dog, Joe Castro. It's probably going to be on his channel tomorrow. And then it'll be on my channel next week. We're going to do it each week. Our draft for our prospective teams with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's going to be a real good thing. I've been going over some draft today. This is really my second day really jumping in it, looking at some offensive linemen. I'm looking at the players that I talked about, the positions, offensive line, specifically offensive tackle, offensive guard. I've said that, receiver and linebacker, probably linebacker, offensive lineman, then receiver, and then everything else fall in place. But definitely check that out. It'll be on tomorrow, 11:30. I think it's going to be on his channel the first time, the Philly podcast. Make sure all my Cowboys fans are on there. And then next week we'll be on mine, and then we'll kind of duel it where both of our channels can be live at the same time and get it popping. So we'll get all that rectified, but it's definitely going down tomorrow. Draft show tomorrow. I'm still getting all my players, so please understand I don't know all the players, but I get up to speed very quickly. Very quickly. I don't take forever to get up to speed with the players and all that good stuff, and I don't cherry pick off nobody. I don't lean on nobody else. I lean on my own eyes, nothing. So make sure you just tune in for that, and I think it'll be a good thing. But make sure you rewind this tape if you caught the end of it. This is a real tape. This is real stuff that I speak on. So you delusional Cowboys fans, this is what I'm gonna call y'all. Y'all call us, y'all call me delusional. I'm gonna call y'all delusional. And I'm sorry, not trying to be mean, but you're delusional. If you're thinking that this thing has changed, it's been 26 years and strong, and if this man don't move out the way a little bit, and quarterback got to get better, and the offense, whole offense got to get better. And if that man don't take a step back and allow these people to coach and actually have some headstrong stuff in there, it's gonna be the same daggone thing, folks. No matter what you tell me. All right. This might be our choke year. Next year, this might be our down year. And I hate to say it, but I just don't see us being better than next year after what happened this year. Just my opinion. You don't like the doom and the gloom, don't come here. Go listen to Cowboys and Rainbows somewhere else where it's all super positive every single day. And, they don't never talk about those things. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it all the time, but that's the reality of it. When we're talking about our team and everything else, this is what you always need to keep in the back of your head about that thing. Okay? And so when it comes up in your face, it's not going to make you as mad. You're not going to be as hurt when you see those things. Now, if you want to go ahead and keep on believing on the fake stuff, that's your prerogative. But I've seen 26 years of it, bruh, and I know what the hell it is. And it's not fooling me. All right? So let's check out that draft show tomorrow. Some good players, interesting players to see where they get picked. Dallas gets picked on the 24th pick. So it'll be interesting where they pick and who they pick, because a lot of things can change these next 2 months. All right. So I'm Big Game James. I'm out. I'll be talking to you. Peace. I really appreciate y'all. Love y'all. My last thing, if you're watching on Facebook and a follower on Facebook, please be a subscriber on my YouTube page. If you're a subscriber on my YouTube page, please be a follower on our Facebook. We're almost at 20K. I'm going to keep saying this. We're almost at 20K on the Facebook page. Very excited about that. The Stars program is opening up this summer. Let's go ahead and we're at 12K at the YouTube. So we're about almost 32,000 strong on both platforms. Very excited about that. Want to continue to grow that thing. So please, as I said before, follow on Facebook, become a subscriber on YouTube. If you're a YouTube subscriber, become a follower on our Facebook. And let's keep on smashing those likes. Let's continue to make these things grow. And let's get out there and have a good time, man. Be at the Senior Bowl next month. A lot of good things are coming up for the Big Game James page. So keep that support like no other. And I appreciate and love you. Talk to you soon. Big Game James. I'm out. Peace. You know how I do. Keeps it real over here, baby.